Hello everybody, I'm Tracy. I've seen most of you before. In case I haven't, I did the chayotes. I did them this morning. I got them from Tucson. So I'm going to give you a little brief synopsis because the recipe is going to be really whatever you want. I like to put shrimp in them. I didn't put shrimp in them this time, but I like to do that. But they do have ham, and you take the chayote and you boil it. And when it's fork soft, you know, I flip them over as I boil them in the water. But I cover them all with the water. It's a big pot, about yay big. And what happens is when they're soft, let them cool. I put them on my baking rack, and I let them cool when they're not smoking anymore. And then I cut them, and I found that if I let them cool and cut them, they don't fall apart as bad as if you try to work with them after boiling them. It's too soon. So I take everything out of the chayote. The seed I throw away, and I just dig it out, not too much that it's paper thin, but enough that it's gonna hold the stuffing, okay? So I stuffed them, and when I got the meat of the chayote out, I already have my chopped ham. You ever seen the chopped ham in the store in the package? And I used Italian breadcrumbs. I used pepper, and I used a bit of Slap Your Mama from Louisiana, so it might have a tiny little bite. And that's what it's called. I meant to bring it, but I didn't bring it. So you've mixed everything in your bowl. You've got your insides of your chayote. You've got your breadcrumbs. I would say put a cup. I made 8 or 10. And what I did is I put a cup of breadcrumbs with the inside of the chayote that you've scraped out. And I put some pepper. Just season it the way you want.
Chiricahua Community Health Centers, which is a federally qualified healthcare center that serves throughout Cochise County. So we have sites in Sierra Vista, which is where I primarily work. We have one in Douglas, which is where I'm at about once a week and where most of my staff work. And we have one 10 minutes away right here in Benson. Our center has so many different services for so many people, from prenatal through throughout the lifespan. And so how can I talk about everything in 5 to 15 minutes? I mean, even everything that is offered only in Benson is quite a lot. One thing I'd like to mention, which I'm very proud of, we were just awarded the Children's Health Fund Irwin Redliner Award for Innovation and Advocacy for the work we do, particularly for children. So we have some that are more specifically for adolescents and children, some that serve all ages, different types of services, whether it's cancer screening or well checkups for children and adolescents. One thing we had was the telehealth program for children with type 1 diabetes. This was done before the pandemic, but it helped because Cochise County, as you know, is such a widespread county that it's really hard for people to travel from one end to the other or to travel to Tucson. So this way they could get their needs met without having to go back and forth and have their parents miss more work. And then, of course, it also made us more prepared for the pandemic when everything that could be done by telehealth, we were better able to pivot to that. So I'm going to talk about some of the programs we have here in Benson. A lot of adults have chronic conditions that need management, whether it's diabetes or other conditions, whether it's dietary help, whether it's getting medications, whether it's coordinating all your various services or getting devices. And we have people who can help with all of the above. And we also have, if you're under a lot of stress, and who hasn't been lately, the past couple of years, we do have counselors, we have people who help with, as I said, just the physical health, emotional health, preventative care, all kinds of different aspects of health care. Everyone is there for the patients, and you really see it in the way they go the extra mile on a regular basis. So we also have programs for children with special needs. Again, that's very comprehensive, where you have multiple providers for children's various health needs, educational needs, etc. If you know anyone who needs Spanish-speaking services, Most of our staff, especially Douglas, are fully bilingual.
So I have freeze-dried saltwater taffy, and freeze-dried gummy worms, and freeze-dried Skittles, and freeze-dried caramel. I've been cooking since I was 5. I am the master at, here's a can of corn, here's a can of beans, here's a potato, here's your gourmet dinner. Yeah, that's caramel. When my son and I lived in Everett, I fed the 2 of us I did, the entire week, 3 meals a day, for about $10 to $20.
For the week.
For the week.
For what?
Every day, 3 meals a day for a week.
Wow.
Want to learn how to make your dollar stretch?
You buy a whole chicken and you cut it up. It takes 8 cuts to cut up a chicken. And then when you cut up your chicken, you've used these little parts for, one little thing. And then you use the bones and make your stock. And then with your stock, you can make your rice. Use stock when you cook your rice, it tastes better. You can use your stock to make your soup. You cut up the chicken. We got the big bags of the taco seasoning mix. Taquitos. Roll it up with cheese in your taco shells. Taquitos. Then you can put enchilada sauce and cheese and you have enchiladas. So there's 2 different meals from one thing. Making bread. Yeah, I know you all like bread. Bread is salt, water, flour, a little bit of yeast. And it's so easy to make. You can make a loaf of bread in about 10 minutes.